As a fellow notebook collector, who has definitely been in the same position, I'm kind of just assuming you're in because you clicked on this video. I feel very qualified to be talking about this topic. Hi guys, my name is Elle if you're new here. If you're not, welcome back to my YouTube channel. As someone who has filled up nearly 12 notebooks in the past 3 years, I feel like I have the knowledge, and so I'm going to pass that on to you if you're curious. So this is my stack of notebooks that I've filled up in the past few years, and to be honest, most of them are kind of filled with just like random brain dump journaling. This is going to be, I think there's 11 here, so this is my 12th. I literally have like 5 more pages left in this one. So, as someone who has filled up this many notebooks, I have a lot of ideas for you. So if you guys stay to the end of the video, I will tell you kind of about how I journal and how I've filled up all those notebooks. So if you're interested in how I do that, kind of stay to the end of the video. I have like 40 plus notebook / journaling ideas. Yeah, let's just get into it. So my first idea is to keep a dream journal, and this is kind of one that you probably will keep next to your bed, and whenever you wake up, maybe in the middle of night or when you wake up in the morning and you just remember your dream, just go ahead and write it down in the notebook that's like right there. My second idea is going to be a mental health journal, and I feel like this can really be very different depending on the person, obviously. So in the mental health journal, you can maybe track or log your mental health, how you're feeling, your mood, things like that. But you can also do, specific journal prompts that may be related to mental health. So you could go do, I believe what it's called shadow journaling, which is kind of a way of journaling with prompts that helps you kind of process past trauma and stuff like that, and really just dig deeper into emotions and stuff. So you could do that. So the third notebook journal idea that I have is to keep a gratitude journal, and honestly, this doesn't even have to be, well, any of these really. It doesn't have to like take up a full notebook. You can kind of just like fill pages in whatever notebook you're using. But with a gratitude journal, there are certain things where you can maybe in the morning when you wake up or at night before you go to bed, you list however many things that you're grateful for, maybe things that happened during the day that were just prominent to you, things like that. Number 4 is kind of more subjective, I think, and that's a creative journal. And really this can be whatever you want. I recommend maybe like looking up on Pinterest like creative journal ideas or whatever, and you'll definitely get a ton of stuff. Number 5 is going to be a scrapbook or a scrapbook journal, and I recently have started a scrapbook. Shameless plug, please go watch my other 2 videos. They're just like little fun, chill scrapbook with me videos. So I'll link those somewhere. You can go watch those videos after this one. My dog is sleeping right there. Okay, hold on. I gotta show you her. If you see like my camera. Oh, that's Augie. So a lot of these beginning ideas are definitely probably ones you've heard before, and you've definitely heard number 6, and that's a travel journal. And I feel like I've always wanted to personally keep a travel journal, but I don't think I go enough places to be able to do that. I definitely feel like it's more something you do when you're like on a trip somewhere, or if you've just like gotten back from a trip. I feel like that's more of when you should be travel journaling, I don't know. Or maybe you've just been on a past trip and you really want to document the things you remember. Maybe you can go back and just write about those things. Number 7 is kind of along the lines of the creative journal, but it's more of an art journal slash sketchbook. I feel like this is more something that could be along the lines of like mixed media type sketching. It's more of like a presentation of art rather than just like practicing, if that makes any sense at all. So number 8, you have definitely heard, is a bullet journal slash planner, calendar, whatever. So if you don't know what a bullet journal is, it's basically a method of planning that is supposedly pretty customizable to your life, and it's typically you have a set key of like shorthand almost of what different things mean in your journal, and it's basically like, I would describe a bullet journal as like a DIY planner essentially. If bullet journaling is for you, that's totally fine. It is just not for me. So number 9 is going to be the Commonplace book, and there's actually a ton of really good videos on YouTube talking about what a commonplace notebook is. And basically, to sum it up, from my understanding of it, is kind of like a notebook hub of like information that you would like to keep track of. It's definitely less like personal thoughts and feelings and more of like taking information that you would like to retain and then having a very organized place for it. So that's kind of the Commonplace book. So idea number 10 is going to be to have a reading log or reading journal. I feel like this is definitely something that is currently kind of like trending a little bit, especially in like the book talk community. And I definitely don't think it is a bad idea. Like, I feel like it is cool if you do read a lot to track all the books you've read and keep note of books you want to read. Number 12 is kind of more niche, if you will, and that is to keep a language learning notebook. And it is kind of just like a place where you can keep all your notes and thoughts and things about whatever language you are learning. So I definitely feel like having a language learning notebook or journal is definitely more helpful when you are self-studying. If you are taking a class, obviously you're probably going to have a notebook where you're writing all your notes and things from your class. But I feel like when you're self-studying, it's definitely nice to have a place to keep all those things as well. And then also, in said language learning notebook, you can track your learning progress if you're into that. And you can also write journal entries in your target language, whatever language you may be learning. You can do that as well. 13 and 14 are a little similar. 13 is you can have a poem notebook. 14 is you can have a song notebook. And I feel like this is pretty self-explanatory. You also don't need to have a full notebook dedicated to these things, but maybe you could just like, you know, you can write poems, you can write songs, and just fill them in whatever notebook you have. Personally, I do write like all my songs in my notes app on my phone. I used to have a specific notebook for writing songs. I just don't anymore because I feel like it is way faster to type when I'm in the midst of writing lyrics than to, you know, have to handwrite all the lyrics that I just sang and then risk forgetting them, you know? So number 15 is to keep a memory journal, and I guess this could be a scrapbook as well. I guess, you know, you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. But yeah, I just feel like if you want to write about your old memories, good or bad, you know, maybe scrapbook about them too. But really just looking back on things you want to remember. Number 16 is kind of like a things I love / things that make me happy notebook. And you can kind of just make journal pages on whatever it is you may be really into at the time, like books, movies, shows, actors, etc., So number 17 is to write short stories or do creative writing prompts, and you can really just like Google, like, hey Google, creative writing prompts, please. And it'll bring up a ton, there is a ton out there. But you can also just, write short stories about whatever you want. So 18 is pretty much just Google journaling prompts. So 17 was more specifically like creative writing type prompts. 18 is more like actual journaling, maybe digging deep into your feelings and thoughts. Number 19 is probably more of like a page idea than filling up a whole notebook with this, but you could do like an all about me type page or notebook, whatever. You can write about yourself at the time. I feel like that'd be very cool to look back on, to see how you viewed yourself a year ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago. Number 20 is to do mindfulness journaling prompts, and these are more specifically like related to mindfulness. Number 21 is going to be a junk journal, and I feel like a lot of people will make junk journals kind of like a DIY notebook and like make the whole notebook themselves with like random paper, and that's really cool. But you can also do a junk journal with just, regular notebook from the store. You don't have to like make it yourself. That's not really something you're into, but you can just keep like different memorabilias from like different events and things, and just put it in a junk journal. So number 22 is to have a journal specifically dedicated to learning about a new topic or something that you're very interested in. 23 is to have a bucket list. 24 is going to be a mood tracker. 25 is a habits tracker. And then 26 is going to be like a savings budget journal, and you can kind of do like whatever you want with this. Like if you want to save up for something specific, maybe you will track your savings for that, etc. 27 is a page idea, and you can just like write to your future self, maybe write a letter and, set a specific date for yourself to like go back and read it. 28 is like a fitness, exercise, health journal, whatever, kind of along those lines. And you can log that, maybe just keep track of whatever it might be. If you're like exercising and, you want to keep track of what you're doing, you can do that. 29 is more of like a wish list / things to buy, or maybe just things you would like to save up for eventually. I'm a material girl. So 30 is going to be daily affirmations, and I feel like this is things, maybe you'll wake up and you'll just write like, oh, I love my eyes, or I love the way I handle blank situations, things like that, just to make yourself feel good starting off the day. 31, you can do like a TV series / movie log of maybe things you've already watched or things you want to watch. 32 is a favorite quotes book. So along the lines of that, you can do maybe quotes your friends or people around you have said that you want to remember, same as text messages, but you can also do like famous quotes, maybe inspiring quotes, stuff like that. 35 is going to be a passwords book, and you can just keep track of all your passwords. So 36 is going to be a meal planning notebook, and you can just kind of meal plan. I don't know how else to explain that. 37 is going to be a song lyrics page, so you can create pages about, a certain song lyric that maybe inspired you, or maybe just a song you really love. you can do that. So 38 is a goals/intentions journal, and my therapist doesn't like the term goals, so we call them intentions instead. And it's just basically, setting intentions for yourself. What do you want to do today? What do you want to do this week? What do you want to do in the next year? Things like that. 39 is going to be a study log, and this can probably just be a page. I don't know if you need a whole journal for this. Maybe you study a lot. I don't know. But yeah, just kind of keep track of maybe what you're studying if you want, or how long you study for. I don't know why people do this. I don't know why you need to. Just, focus on studying, bro. 40 is going to be grocery lists, and, if you're a kid, you probably don't need this. But if you're, an adult, and you're a big kid, and you need to buy groceries, then maybe you should do this. 41 is going to be a recipe book, and you can maybe fill it with your own personal recipes, or just recipes you found online that you really want to remember. Can be anything. The last idea, number 42, is a contacts notebook. I feel like people kind of forget that remembering people's information is important sometimes because we have our phones that kind of do it for us. But what if you lose your phone? What if your phone is dead and you need to contact someone? I feel like it's very important to have these things written down outside of technology, if that makes sense. Really quickly, I would like to talk about how I journal and what I do, and I kind of like to call it the everything journal. Oh, that's cute! My channel is everything else. Okay, anyways, so this is the everything journal, and basically I fill it with my daily to-do list, just random journaling, random thoughts, ideas, maybe things. I feel like I filled this with mostly things that I know I don't really want to go back and look on. Things that, okay, I write down for one day and then I can kind of forget. Anything else outside of that, I feel like should not go into the everything journal because, everything goes in there. It's not organized at all, so. But it does fill up notebooks really, really quickly, because, everything is just going into one notebook, and whatever you fill it up, you move on. Oh my goodness, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I feel like it has been going on forever. Hopefully you enjoyed all my notebook journal ideas, and please subscribe if you liked this video. Maybe you want to see more. I'm just a creative person. I like making videos about anything regarding being creative, stuff like that. So if that's something you're into, please subscribe, and thanks for watching.